Hey, this is Spartan 300 Therm, and I like StarCraft 2 no matter how terrible I am at it. Actually, I'm a serious caller, I like StarCraft 2 no matter how bad I am at it. Oh, small mistake, but beside the point. So now I've been playing Protoss as I usually do, and my opponent is Terran. So now, I try to get my pylon up a little earlier than usual, but apparently he's going early too, or perhaps this is the standard time, I don't know too much. And we scout each other relatively simultaneously. No, he gets to scout here, and then I send my scout. Yeah, so, you know, they cross each other, not much going on. You know, we're just getting our basic forces up. An unfortunate mistake I make, though, is that I don't put an assimilator on the Vespene geysers. That's what they're called, right? Assimilators? Let me check. Yeah, assimilators. Finally got it right. I scout his base, I don't get too much information out of there. But he was going mech. This is actually going to be the first video I do of a defeat of mine, because I actually realized that all the videos I was doing was victories, and that would just be a little pointless. So, I decided to do some defeats. Actually, both the defeats, I'm going to make another one right after this, were very interesting. So now he tries to go for some early raiding. Why am I actually going so fast? No need for the extra speed now. And I have these two zealots up. And I almost lose here, but I managed to warp in another zealot and stalker in. You know, those Marines probably could have single-handedly taken on these zealots so long as they didn't stand there getting stabbed. So here come in the reinforcements. They're not fast enough. And he manages to, I think it's called macro. But, you know, but my stalker manages to come in with the addition of a second zealot. And I take out this raid pretty fast. So I realized I should do some raiding of my own, so I'm eventually about to get a, what's it called, Cybernetics core up. But I make the unfortunately stupid decision to make a counterattack, because my assumption was that that was his army, and I couldn't have been more wrong. So he has a siege tank, and how many is this? 2, 4, 5, so that's 6 with the additional 2, so that's 8 Marines and a siege tank. And not to mention the fact that Stalkers go faster than Zealots, so the Stalker's gonna take the hits and save the Zealots. He'll actually survive that, but hey, so I just check for expansion, and I actually can't see the siege tank. So I can't see the siege tank, and, well, that's unfortunate. He tries to pursue with a Marine, or maybe that's the AI doing whatever the AI does. So, you know, so I assume that maybe I can probably do some damage, but then I realized otherwise. So I sent him down here, thinking that there was a Zelamalga tower, which was pretty stupid. And then eventually I just fall back. So now he's building up his army. I'm trying to get my higher level structures out. Here's my robotics facility, and I'm going to use that to grab a transport and then raid him up top. So continuing. I got the warp gates out, didn't switch them yet, here we go. And my force isn't exactly competent for defense. What is the current army? So I have 6 zealots and 2 stalkers versus 2 siege tanks and 11 marines. They're arguably equal. I mean, it depends on whether or not the siege tanks can deploy in time. Now he waits out the base, and I don't realize this, but I start building a bunch of pylons when he's right there. And I lose some of the pylons, which is unfortunate for my economy, but it's a loss that I can stand. So now he moves in for the attack. Luckily I have all these pylons so I can counter. And unfortunately my zealots are not in front. Tries to deploy siege tanks, marines going in front. And the marines try to run away, but that exposed to siege tank. Yeah, the last siege tank. Yeah, so instead of pursuing them, I went for the siege tank because it was more powerful, and the marines died off pretty quickly. So that was a pretty quick engagement, you know. I mean, all engagements in this game are very fast. And, I mean, it was just pretty simple. I didn't lose that much. But I start out with 6 zealots. Yeah, I think I only lost 1 guy there. Definitely Pyrrhic defeat on his part. Does the term Pyrrhic work for defeats? I don't think so. So, my economy is really good, which probably isn't a great thing considering the fact that I'm building up resources. Because I've learned the hard way that StarCraft is not the game about saving resources for big guys. Pretty much learned that if my tech is high enough that I can get, say, Colossi, for instance, but I can't afford them at a somewhat regular rate, that means that I spent way too many resources on tech than I did on economy. Which actually happens to me very rarely, considering the fact that I usually go too economic and that kills my game. It's actually what ends up killing me here. So my assumption was build up my tech, because whenever I get base building I tend to forget about everything, which is probably my biggest weakness. out of my many, many weaknesses, considering the fact that I'm new. I'm only like Bronze League, but I'm top 25. So here's my raiding party. I recently learned to use what are they called? Stalkers for the raids instead of zealots, because the stalkers being ranged, they don't have to move in as close, they don't have to pursue the target. And they're just simply better for raiding. So I finally figured out that if I do shift, I can actually use it for unloading and turning it into like the warp gate mode, power field mode. And I probably spawned them a little bit too far away, but he still doesn't realize them in time. Yeah, these guys are all the way down here. Takes him a few seconds. Let's check his view.
Our SCVs are under attack.
So yeah, you can see this happening. Ooh, he can see my warp prism. That's unfortunate. So he moves in, and I don't manage to do serious damage to his economy, but I do manage to take out Siege Tank. And I warped in 2 more stalkers, and it's fortunate that one of them gets left behind. So my assumption was maybe he can kill a guy. He can't. So I moved my warp prism over here. Maybe I could trick him into thinking that he left. I'll go back to all. Set sitting around. Unfortunately, don't build up any of my economy. Let's go back to construction. I start to build some colossi. I probably should have many more zealot stalkers, and one of my biggest mistakes in the game was not getting any sentries. If I had sentries, I could have resisted some of the siege tank damage, and this battle just could have gone so much better. My lack of infantry. So now he moves in for the attack. Let's just speed this up because it's going a bit slow. Faster, 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 faster. Look at those silly Marines. So fast. So now here's my defensive force. I actually managed to get my colossi out. One of them I forgot to set a marker, so I moved manually. Maybe if they were all there at once, I could have won this. So I'm moving for an attack. My colossi actually aren't shooting. There was too many things went wrong in this engagement for me. Now, even if everything went right for me, I still couldn't have won. So I try to make a full drone pullout. Which is probably what any sane player would have done here. Luckily, they don't block any of my zealots. My zealots only killed like 2, maybe 3 enemies. I try to get out some more colossi. Where are those colossi? Come on. There we go. So I start to build some colossi. As any Protoss aware player would know, they go for the pylons. And I realized that maybe I can hold back the advance a little to allow my colossi to come out. So I attack them with my probes, because that base is destroyed, and it probably won't be too good for me. Not to mention the fact that I need to clear up some space for my army. So I managed to kill quite a few guys with that. I'd also try to build a warp prism, because then it took me this long to realize that he was actually going very tech heavy with the siege tanks. So he would have very weak defenses against air. And I had the intention to build this stuff much earlier, but it doesn't work out. So I'm about to get my colossi out, and this is about the point where I realize even if the colossi win, I'll GG anyway. So I may as well get like the XP. I mean, the XP means absolutely nothing in this game, but hey, why not? Add insult to injury. So I take some guys out. This colossus happened to be in a good spot. Colossi is plural. And I GG out. And I have to say, it was a very good game. I enjoyed it. So, I'm Spartan300 Therm. A like and subscription are appreciated, and I will see you next time.